Hey everyone, so today I'm really excited to be able to review these gender reveal compound fireworks. So what's that all about? Gender reveal fireworks. Let's talk about that first. So it's becoming quite a popular thing. In fact, I did it for my daughter a couple of years ago to announce the gender of my daughter. I did a little gender reveal firework display in my back garden where I let off a load of fireworks that were pink to signify that it was going to be a girl. Now, obviously, because I do fireworks professionally, I was able to choose lots of different individual fireworks and do a little display on that. But for simplicity, these are just compounds. So it's one fuse you light, and they will do a whole gender reveal display in a box for you. And so there's two. There's one for a boy, one for a girl. The labels kind of give them away. 151 shots each. They're called Next Generation. They are by Prestigious Pyrotechnics. So I'm going to unbox them, let's have a look at them, and then we're going to fire them. I have seen footage of these before, so I'm kind of curious to see how good they are sort of in real life. So let's start by opening them up. Let's go for the pink one first. I do like the labelling on these. They're rather nice. Get that out of the way. There's also a little hidden Easter egg on the labels of these as well. I don't know if you could notice this, but the X on both of them, on the pink one, there's a little like downwards arrow there that's in black, and on the blue one there's a little upwards arrow in black. Now, if you've seen the Da Vinci Code, you might be familiar with various different symbols and their meanings. So apparently this symbol here, this sort of downwards arrow, is the chalice, and that's a symbol for female. And this one, the upwards arrow, sometimes known as the blade, is a symbol for male. So little hidden Easter eggs in there. But I think the big clue really is the colour. So blue for boy, pink for girls. So let's open this up and see what we've got inside. We might need some scissors as well here, or a knife. And whilst I'm doing this, let's talk about what a compound is. You might have heard me mention compound fireworks. So compound fireworks are basically two or more fireworks that are designed to be fired together. They're linked together by a fuse, and you fire them by lighting a single fuse. And why do we need compound fireworks? Well, here in the UK there are limits to how much powder or NEC an individual firework can contain. For category F2 fireworks, it's 500 grams. For category F3 fireworks, it's 1 kilogram. So in order to get fireworks that's got more than 1 kilogram, that are F3, you can do two smaller fireworks and link them together. So this compound here has two fireworks in. There's an indication here of which way to face it. So to me, that implies there's going to be some angled effects in here. Normally for cakes that just shoot up vertically, you don't have a sticker on saying which way you need to face it to the audience. Two fuses, a main fuse and a reserve fuse. If you want to know what reserve fuses are for, I did a little tutorial on those, and you'll find a link to that in the corner of the screen now. So this is ready to fire like this. You can peel the fuse cover off and light it, and away you go. I'm actually going to take this out of the box just to have a bit of a closer look at it. You don't need to do this. You can fire this from the box, but I want to have a little bit of a look. So let's get this out. It's some weight in this as well. The box says it is, let's have a look, 2.7 kilograms. And there we go, let's get the box out of the way. And so this is what we have. We have two fireworks on a piece of wood to give it stability. And here you can see they're linked together. So this is where the firework starts. It will do all these shots, zigzag through those, and then it will come out and it will light the second part of this firework. Now, my understanding of this firework is the gender reveal part doesn't happen straight away. So the first cake, the first part of the compound here, is all silver. So it kind of keeps the audience in suspense. Is it going to be a girl? Is it going to be a boy? We don't know. It's only when we get into this second part of the compound that the colours come out. So obviously in this one it's going to be pink, in the other one it's going to be blue. So let's have a look at the individual labels on the components of this. So the first part, battery of shot tubes requiring external support. Effects, 49 shots of white strobe tail, silver crown and white strobe mine. in the first section of the cake. In the second section, the effects are 102 shots, red tail, pink mine and pink peony. The second one is 918 grams. And the first part is 441 grams. Category F3, so that needs a spectator distance of at least 25 metres. And I can see in this first cake, everything is going to fire vertically, so straight up. There's no angled tubes in that. In the second part, I can see there's 1, 2, 3 rows of angled tubes, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of straight firing tubes, and then another 3 rows of angled tubes. So the angled ones are going to fill the sky, those straight ones are going to go straight up. So obviously 441 grams plus and 918 grams is going to take you over the 1 kilogram limit for an F3 firework, which is why it's split into 2. And when you split fireworks up like this, for F3 fireworks, you could then go up to 4 kilograms of powder in a compound. And for F2, I think it's 2 kilograms. So we're well within the limits here, but obviously because we're over a kilogram, that's why it's had to be split into 2 fireworks to make a compound. Now I suspect the blue one is going to be identical, still 151 shots, but exactly the same layout. But let's just open that box and have a look. Let's get the pink one out of the way. Let's put that there. And let's put this on top. And then let's open up the blue one. Oh, again, we're going to need to cut the tape off at the sides. So yeah, identical setup on this, but again, this second part's going to be blues rather than pinks. The other thing I note from this, that the tubes look like they're about 20 mil tubes throughout, but I do notice on the box that it's 1.3G. You might have seen this symbol before. On fireworks in the UK, they're either 1.4G or 1.3G. I won't go into all the details on the differences between them now, I'll save that for another video. But effectively, 1.3 fireworks, you're going to get better effects with them. The chemicals inside them are a lot more potent than 1.4G. So there we go, those are next generation 151 shot gender reveal compounds from Prestigious Pyrotechnics. Each one's meant to last about, I think, over 95 seconds, over a minute and a half from a single fuse. So when I did my gender reveal, I had lots of individual fireworks that I lit. If you just want to do a quick gender reveal where you just light one fuse and the audience are going to be wowed, then definitely check this out. Next Generation by Prestigious Pyrotechnics. I'm curious to fire this myself and see what it looks like, and then we'll review it. So those were the next generation gender reveal compounds from Prestigious Pyrotechnics, the first ever gender reveal compounds to be available in the UK. Boy, were these good. Or should that be girl, these were good? I don't know, they were both good. Wow, there is some power in these, the sort of power I'd expect more from 25 or even 30mm tubes. I certainly wasn't expecting this level of performance from just 20mm tubes. Of course, it is 1.3G, so its effects are going to be more potent, but these are on another level, and loud too. If you want the whole world, well, maybe just your local neighbourhood, to share in your big gender reveal, this is the way to go. Let's look at the first barrage in the compounds. The first barrage is the same in both the boy and the girl versions, as they both start the same. 49 straight shots of white strobe tails to big silver crowns, and a white strobe mine lift with each. The mine lift really adds a nice layer to the effects. So not only do you have the large breaks high in the sky, but silver strobing glitter beneath them at a lower level. The breaks have a really good hang time to them, and this opening barrage is certainly going to quickly grab your audience's attention that something is happening. I like that there's then a bit of a pause between the opening cake and the main gender reveal component. In compounds, when the first cake finishes, there can be a small delay before the next cake in the compound ignites, whilst the fuse burns between the two. Normally this delay is kept as short as possible, utilising quick match to connect the two to make the transition seamless. But I like that there's a bit more of a delay between the two cakes in these gender reveal compounds. It really adds to the anticipation of whether the compound is going to go into blue or pink. So onto the second and main cake in each compound. The pinks and reds were great, and I like that they were also accompanied by a pink mine lift. In the blue compound, traditionally blue is one of the hardest colours to produce at any great brightness in fireworks, but the blues were really bright and vivid in this one, and it was nice to see a blue mine lift with each shot too. The 3 banks of simultaneously fired fan shots were good. They could have perhaps been fanned out a little wider, but they were still sky-filling nonetheless. I loved the pace and the energy of the straight fired section. And whereas the first 3 banks of fan shots were fanned in groups, the last banks of fan shots were rapidly Z-fired, so it was nice to see a third firing pattern within this compound. The timings of this Z-fired finale though were noticeably better in the pink compound than in the blue. In the blue compound, the final 2 rows of 7 shots fired pretty much simultaneously. Here's a slow motion side-by-side comparison of the 2 Z-fired finale sections to illustrate. To be honest though, I only noticed this when editing the footage, and this slight discrepancy in the timing of the final shots of these 2 compounds really doesn't take anything away from either of them. Something else I only noticed when editing the side-by-side comparison was the difference in overall duration of the 2 compounds. We're back to normal speed now, and I've put an elapsed timer at the bottom of the screen as well to monitor how each compound progresses. Interestingly, the pink compound only lasted around 73 seconds. The blue compound lasted nearly 20 seconds longer. I didn't even notice this difference when firing them, and so I don't feel particularly shortchanged by the slightly shorter pink compound. Let's look at the price. The recommended retail price, or RRP, for each of these is £199.99, so £200. But you can pick these up for around £175 each. Yes, the next generation compounds are not cheap, But if you want to make a memorable gender reveal with fireworks and don't want the hassle of picking out and setting up lots of individual fireworks which you then need to light one by one, I think it's worth splashing out on a next generation gender reveal compound. It lasts for over 1.5 minutes, there's virtually no setup time, just a single fuse to light. It's an entire gender reveal display in a box, which your audience are sure to remember. A couple of things to note though, as these are category F3 fireworks, spectators must be at least 25 metres away. These are powerful compounds, and so are only suitable if you have the space. If you have a small back garden and want to do a gender reveal firework display, these compounds aren't for you. Also, as there's so much power in these compounds, there is quite a few debris to clear up afterwards. Now usually when I'm preparing fireworks, I tend to skim the paper top off cakes and compounds, as this aids in the clear up and reduces debris. But when testing these compounds, I decided to leave the paper tops on to see how much debris were produced, and it was quite a bit. I'd also definitely have a bucket of water on standby, as the remains of these compounds once fired can smoulder for some time afterwards. Whilst you don't have to, removing the compound from its cardboard box before firing also takes away that risk of the box catching fire. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check out my channel for more firework reviews and content.